giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to AZ Sports Live, presented by Boston Scientific, streaming live from YouTube and Facebook, and streaming live at Hattie B's Hot Chicken. It's your boy, Skywalker Steele. Boom! My guy sliding my notes up here. What's goody, everybody? We are back. As you can see, we are no construction, no pounding on the table. No, but we got this beautiful backdrop here at Hattie B's Hot Chicken, home of the king of the Nashville-style hot chicken. I promise you, they're not back there beating them. They're not back there making them. They're back there cooking them up, but they're not back to doing anything crazy. So we're going to have a good show today. Coming up, we got our first mock draft reaction. Our first mock draft reaction to a beat reporter down here in Dallas's mock draft. So we'll grade that mock draft, each pick, and have some fun with that as we get closer to the NFL draft. We got a few weeks, and we're starting to get there. It's kind of crazy. We're less than a month away from the NFL draft, and I can't believe it, y'all. And then in the roundup, we got some news on Cowboys bringing in some wide receivers, and I got some thoughts on that, y'all. I got some thoughts on the two receivers they brought in. It's nothing crazy in regards to the actual players, but I think they're dropping some breadcrumbs on one of the positions, one of the depths of the positions that they're looking to try to fill prior to the draft. And then the Cowboys lost a role player. Bound to happen at some point. Can't bring everybody back, but don't fret. If you look at our mock draft, we'll be fine. Also, I like the player, but it's not a bad idea to try to upgrade if you can, but we'll discuss that in the roundup as well, man. But what's good with y'all? Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
How y'all doing this morning, man? How y'all doing? So I'm waiting to see if anybody got anything to say. There it is, man. Hayes says, shut the construction up. Y'all know me, for those who've been here since day one. Yeah, I was a little annoyed, man. I was a little annoyed with that whole situation, but we got through it, man. We having a good time here, and I'm glad y'all are here to join me for this morning's show. Who we got in the building? We got Matisse. We got Mutilated Pixation. Ain't seen you in a minute. Double R, Jerry Jones, burner account. That's just what I'm going to call you, bro. Too broke to pay attention. C. Knicks, Toxic Tom. Yeah, it was only right. We can't have all in Tom for too long. He's over that. Now he's back to Toxic Tom. My lady in the building. Hayes in the building, Gregory in the building, Captain America, how does it? King G, what's good, Brody? Matrice, John Garcia over on Facebook, appreciate you for being here. Jameson, I see you, Jameson, hope you're doing well. Cool Hands Lou, you gotta be about 50 something, huh? That's one of them old head names. Cool Hands Lou. AZ Jello, what's up? We got Double R, got you already, and many more coming through. I see you, Gregory, 6 to midnight. Who else? Peter Rizzo over on Facebook. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. Should be a fun Friday show. I know I dropped the Fan Friday mailbag, but what we're going to do is we're going to take those mailbag questions and we're going to use them for Monday. That's what we'll do, all right? And today we're going to react to this mock draft. I think you guys will enjoy this mock draft. At least I did. I know one specific person who will not enjoy this mock draft, and I'm just waiting for him to call in. If you want to call into the show, you can. 351-999-3787. What's good, Brody? I see Lee in the building. Eric W. coming through. Make sure y'all come on in and have a good time with me here live at Hattie B's Hot Chicken. All right, let's get to this roundup, y'all.
Look at them, it's about that time.
It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time. It's time.
It is time for.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Oh, they do it. Hey, oh, they do it.
Hey, yo. Cowboys brought in 2 wide receivers, huh? Not really big deal wide receivers, though. Cowboys work out DJ Montgomery and former first-round draft pick bust, one of my worst draft prediction busts of all time, Laquan Treadwell. Let me just tell you something. When we talk about where we went wrong and where we discuss, because you gotta be able to own up to your L's, right? You gotta be able to do that. Laquan Treadwell is the one I come back to. I am no draft guru. I never pretend to be. That's why I always lean on my friends and lean on my draft people, and then I try to form my own opinion after they kind of point me in direction, and I sometimes disagree with them. But Laquan Treadwell is the one I come back to and say, see, look, I ain't no draft guy. I thought this dude was going to be fantastic. I thought he was going to be the next Dez. I thought he was going to be one of those top 15 picks that was going to come in here and help out. Who was it at the time? Was it Minnesota? He got drafted to? Not Minnesota. Who did he get drafted to, Cowboys Nation? I thought Laquan Treadwell was going to be a beast. He was a bust. But the Cowboys are looking at him. They worked him out. DJ Montgomery, they worked him out as well. So what does that mean? Not really much. Not really much, because these guys I don't think are going to crack this team or anything like that. Now maybe they get signed and they're camp bodies, what have you. But let's dig a little bit deeper. I wonder if this has more to do with them looking for depth at the X wide receiver position. We've brought this conversation up, I think, on the roundtable. We brought it up on Watch's channel. The Cowboys have depth at other positions. Like you got a bunch of little slot guys you can use in the slot if you wanted to. I think Cooks and Lamb can alternate. So I think you're fine at Z and slot. You don't really have depth at the X position. And Laquan Treadwell would be a bona fide X. Not saying the kid's going to make the team or anything like that, but they're looking into these guys. Same thing with DJ Montgomery. Not a burner, not a guy that he's probably going to play on the line of scrimmage. Similar built, 6'1", goes 200+, is a Michael Gallup. So I think they're kind of looking to attack some veteran, although DJ Montgomery hasn't played a ton, but guys who's been in this league and play that position, because the Cowboys do not have a lot of depth at X. So they're just trying to get into the draft, filling these holes, and they don't have a lot of glaring holes from the starter position, but there's some depth things that they can attack, and the X wide receiver position is just one of them. Doesn't mean that they're going to sign it, but if you want to dig deeper, maybe this is something they'll look at in the draft. Like if they decide to draft a wide receiver, maybe it'll be an X type as opposed to a Z or a slot guy. Speaking of depth, the Cowboys did lose one of their more trusted depth guys in Carlos Watkins, defensive tackle. They lost some interior depth there. So here's the thing about Los. He's one of those stories that I feel like almost called him Steve McMahon. Steven Jones. That's how you know I got WrestleMania on my mind. Steven Jones can come back to and say, see, bargain bin shopping works. You know, him on a higher level, J-Ron Curse. But let's give a round of applause to Carlos Watkins. Los got signed. I'm not going to lie to you. I wrote him off as a guy that's going to compete in camp and probably not really make the team. If he does, he'll maybe get buried. Los said, no, sir. No, sir. I'm going to come on this team, and I'm going to make a name for myself. I may not be a star, but I'll integrate myself as a core piece of this rotation. And that's what he did. And in both years, I think he was signed here kind of just to kind of get by and as insurance. And in both years, he proved I'm more than just insurance. So I do want to give a salute to Carlos Watkins. Look, we talked about it yesterday. Him and Hankins are two different guys. Hankins, the way he affects the game is different than the way Los affects the game. And I think you saw that when Hankins was out and Los was in by himself. But when Los can kind of be a part of a solid interior, I think Los can absolutely be a quality rotation guy, maybe your third or fourth defensive tackle. But the way Dan Quinn uses the defensive tackle rotation and defensive line rotation in general, that third defensive tackle or fourth defensive tackle is going to play. And, you know, his best play that he made for the Cowboys was against the Saints, the pick six. But he also made some other quality plays for Dallas throughout his short tenure here. So, you know, salute to Carlos Watkins. I think he played his role very well. With that said, I don't think this is one of those situations where we should be afraid of letting Los go. I think it would have been nice to bring Los back, but I would have brought Los back under the same circumstances. Insurance, here to push these young bucks, and if the young bucks can't beat Los, that's a damn good thing. But if they do, that's also a good thing. So I'm not really shaking in my knees that Carlos Watkins is gone. I'm happy for him. Hopefully he got his bread over there in Arizona. He get a chance to play some as well. But I think this is more of an opportunity now for guys in-house and more of an opportunity for guys that they do eventually look to bring in from the draft. Now, who's in-house, Cowboys Nation? We're talking about Chauncey Golston, you know, a guy that might get a chance to do more defensive tackle things. To me, Golston feels more of a 5-tech, 3-tech as opposed to, you know, 3-tech, 4-eye, 5, you know, and then 5. I feel like he's 5 first. And the way that Dan Quinn does a lot of things with his defensive line, I think that Golston fits the versatility that he wants. Is he in the same mode as Los? No, even though Los is about the same size in regards to weight now since Chauncey put on some weight. But Chauncey's way longer. He can use his length better. You know, we talk about Osa a lot. As we talking, man. We talk about Osa a lot. But another guy I'm keeping my eye on this camp, man, is going to be Chauncey. I saw him take some steps in certain games. And I'm not saying he's on the block. And we'll do another segment here probably after the draft. If you guys remember last year, we did the hot seat show where we had some of the veteran dudes who were on the hot seat. And veteran can be young veteran. Chauncey's now considered a young veteran. He's 3 years in the league. Chauncey, man, let's keep an eye out on him. You know, if Chauncey can take that next step as well, this Carlos Watkins thing really won't matter. But with that said, there is still a hole depth-wise on the interior. And Los was a guy that helped against the run. Wasn't a fantastic run stopper, but he helped against the run. He had a motor, not a pass rush guy. But I thought he worked well with whoever really was next to him. But him and Hankins together, they put on some good film together. So what did we do, Cowboys Nation? Do we have a caller? My bad. I didn't even realize we had a caller. Apologies. We had a caller on. If you want to call back in, you can, 351-999-3787. So what do we do? There's a multitude of different things. I don't look at this as a bad thing because it opens the door for them to do what I've wanted them to do from the jump. Let's go sign A'Shawn Robinson. I think A'Shawn Robinson's better. But being better probably means that he's going to cost a little bit more money. And as we just saw, and again, you can always read the tea leaves with this organization. Jonathan Hankins, one of the more respected run guys in this league, right? Not saying he's the best, but he's respected. And for the Cowboys, you saw how important he was. He signed for 1 year, $1.3 million with some incentives that can get it probably up to more than that. A'Shawn Robinson, over the last 3 years or so, has been better than Jonathan Hankins. Now, he's coming off injury, so that could help. A'Shawn probably going to cost you a little bit more. So if we're looking for a guy to bring in here for depth, a veteran dude, it's probably going to have to come at a lower level. And I've been looking around, and the other guy that comes to mind is an Akeem Hicks, a guy who already got his money, I think, in Chicago. He's up there in age. It shouldn't cost you a whole lot, and that's kind of where, if they were to address this position going before the draft, probably be more of a Hicks, or even lower than that, a guy like a Carlos Watkins. If you guys remember, Los wasn't a big name coming out of Houston. Now, he's from Clemson. I think he was a third-round pick, so he had a draft pedigree. But as a free agent, he wasn't a big name. I feel like A'Shawn is a bigger name. Hicks is a bigger name. Who was the other cat that we talked about? Well, Thomason, he's already signed. Isn't there a Carolina kid that's good too? Ioannidis is out there as well. It'll probably be along the Carlos Watkins type, right? It'll probably be along the Carlos Watkins type when he got here to the Cowboys. So I don't really foresee Dallas. I would love to get A'Shawn Robinson. What do you guys want to do at this position? Do you want to keep it as is and just address it in the draft, or would you guys like to go out and get a Akeem Hicks, A'Shawn Robinson, or just rely on Golston, really? I mean, Bohanna's here. Like, I can't – Bohanna's here. But Bohanna's more of – he's more of the big body Hankins replacement, whereas I'm looking for somebody that if they're looking to do these run fits, these run packages, they put Los out there and they put Hankins out there. I know Bo and Hankins could be out there, but A'Shawn and Hicks are better than Bohanna, right? They just are. So what you guys want to do? Get a good defensive tackle, draft, and grab a vet. That's kind of where I'm at, Glenn. Marvin says draft. DJ says Sky. I honestly don't care. Just draft well and let's get to next season. Well, we got a long way to go, DJ. We got a long way to go, so we got to figure out what's best. Big Bud was good. He said get a good DT. From where though, Big Bud? Draft or sign one. How come you haven't had the Hattie B's chicken on set yet? Do they have a mascot? I don't know if they got a mascot. David said Kancey or Washington would be nice. Washington would change this offense. Oh, you're talking about the mock draft stuff. Hold tight. I got you. I got you for the mock draft. Tino said grab a vet. Scotty says Hicks with DQ. Sign me up. Yeah. Matisse wants to do both. Later in the draft, unless you do Mazi Smith. Hold tight, David. Go get number 46 from Michigan State. Okay. Hey, Chris, you better leave Marvin alone because that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Gregory says grab Kancey at 26, then trade up in the second and grab Darnell. That's a lot of action right there. That's a lot of action right there. So look, let's go ahead and jump into this mock draft as we let the phone lines build. 351-999-3787 is the phone line for your mind, as my guy Law Nation would say. Before we do that, let's talk about Boston Scientific real quick, Cowboys Nation. In the U.S., more than 39 million men suffer from ED, and Boston Scientific has created edcure.org to help you find your best cure. How do you get started, you might ask? Well, you go to the website, you take the quiz, and you learn your severity or risk of ED. And if you have a condition that puts you at a higher risk, they got customized content for you. The fastest way to find your best cure is to contact an ED specialist by browsing a list of experienced physicians in your area. So visit edcure.org to get the facts and find a urologist who can offer the best treatments when others do not. That's edcure.org, brought to you by Boston Scientific. All right. Let's jump into pick one. Are y'all ready? By the way, this is a mock draft done by John Machota, one of the most respected beat writers, beat reporters down here in Dallas. And he did a mock draft based off of, Pro Football Network maybe, and on Athletics. So if you want to read it, I'll attach the link in the description unless one of my mods want to attack the link in the comments. But you can check it out. But we're going to go 1 through 5. And then we're going to do round 1s through 5, and we'll have a discussion. We'll grade it, and y'all let me know. So with the first pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, John Machota selects for these Dallas Cowboys defensive end Nolan Smith. This is what he has to say. Tom. This is what he has to say about one Nolan Smith. Bijan Robinson was long gone by pick 26, going at number 10 to the Eagles. TCU wide receiver Quentin Johnson, who didn't run well at his pro day. Maryland cornerback Deontay Banks, and Utah tight end Dalton Kincaid were the 3 picks selected right before the Cowboys went on the clock. So Dallas came down to Smith, Michael Mayer, the tight end from Notre Dame, and tight end Darnell Washington. Also, Osiris Torrance and Kalijah Kancey was on the board as well. And John decided to roll with Nolan Smith. So let's talk about the picks that were still there, the players that were still there. The tight ends, Darnell and Michael Mayer. I'm good off of those guys with this pick, with these guys on the board. Osiris Torrance, offensive guard, Kalijah Kancey, and Nolan Smith. I think Nolan Smith is probably graded closer to Kancey than the rest of these dudes, so you likely were going to go with Nolan or Kancey if you were going with best player available on the board. He went with Nolan Smith. Grade to pick, Cowboys Nation. I like this one. I'm a big Nolan Smith fan. I get it. He's coming into a crowded room. But we got to understand that Dan Quinn likes to rotate these guys. And one thing that we can guarantee is that he'll play. And that type of athleticism, explosiveness, if you continue to beef up the interior and the exterior, because you still got guys like a Micah Parsons you got to deal with, guys like a D-Law you got to deal with. And if you have a Hankins every game or another guy that helps when Hankins is off the field, we talk about Nolan Smith being another kind of queen piece where you move him around. You can be on the left side, right side, stand him up, hand in the dirt. And think about this for a second. If you wanted to run a end game scenario where with pure athletes to get after the quarterback, Micah Parsons, Sam Williams, Nolan Smith, Osa Odighizuwa, my God. My God. You better be able to get that ball out fast. So I like this pick right here. If Nolan Smith were to be available, I take this all day. He's a fantastic pass rusher, has all the traits, the upsides there. I know we had a conversation with one of our callers yesterday. He didn't see it in Nolan. That's fair. Everybody's going to have their opinions on him. And here's one of the underrated aspects of Nolan Smith. The kid can play the run very impressively. I was shocked for a guy his size how effective he is in the run game. Now, obviously, you're getting matched up consistently, in down blocking, duo blocking, or a 330-pound guard coming at him. He's likely going to get washed because of his size. But just head up. You try to wham block him with a tight end fullback. You try to one-on-one block him with a tackle. He plays the run fantastically. So I like this pick a lot. I think he can come in and be a rotational guy. Maybe it takes a few games like it did with Sam Williams, but boy, you have a healthy rotation of pass rushers if you get a Nolan Smith. And then the next year, Dante Fowler is a free agent. Dorrance Armstrong's a free agent. Tack McKinley's a free agent. And D-Law's a year older. So while the room looks crowded now, it won't be a year from now. So let's see how you guys feel about Nolan Smith as the first pick here. We had A+ from Kelvin, A+ from Toxic, A from Star Kit Duke. As much as I wanted a guard, I would take Smith also, 100%. Mind you, Mayer was on the board. Osiris is on the board. I'd imagine Avila is on the board as well for those who are like Avila here. And both tight ends, Washington and Mayer, I already said Mayer. Scotty said I don't think Nolan's going to be there. I tend to agree, but if he is, I think you run to the podium. Vosh says, Sky just benched D-Law. What up, bro? From Endgame like I tried to do. You know what? I didn't even think about that. My bad. I didn't mean to do that. Throw him in there. I was thinking of athletes, right? But you're right. Yeah, I mean, if you want athletes, you probably do. Do we do Osa? Do we do Osa? Is Osa out athleting D-Law? Probably, if we do athletes. But yeah, D-Law on the inside probably over Osa, I'd imagine. Is that what I said? Osa, Sam, Micah, and Nolan as one version. Sam, Micah, D-Law, Nolan as another version. You can do Dante. I think you got to do D-Law. No, Sam. You can put Sam inside. Sam, Micah, probably D-Law. I don't think you want to go too small. You could do so many combinations, man. So many combinations if you take a Nolan Smith. And that's exactly what the Cowboys like to do and Dan Quinn likes to do. He likes to mix these things up. All right, let's get to the phone lines. brought to you by our guys down at Cochran Firm since '05. My guys Larry and Brian have been holding it down, fighting for the Cowboys, fighting for the DFW area community. Their attorneys, headlined by the team of managing partners Brian and Larry Taylor, handle the most challenging civil cases involving personal injury, wrongful death, fraud, truck and automobile accidents, class action suits, and many more. And all the Cochran Firm civil cases are handled on a contingent fee basis. If there is no financial recovery, then they charge no fee. So hit them up at 1-800-THE-FIRM or schedule your free consultation today at CochranTexas.com. Remember, when you need an attorney who understands, Cochran cares. Mr. Ronnie, good morning, good sir.
Good morning, and God bless you and the family and the show like always, and your boy Vibes. I just got a quick question.
Yep.
Out of the running backs, who would you pick if it's available? Who would you pick?
What you mean? Give me
like
some
out of the
name,
running backs. Yeah, like a Pacific running back that would be available. Who would you take?
And what round? I mean, you got to be
like in the first round, my back. In the first round, yeah.
Oh, there's only two. The Gibbs and Robinson. That's it.
Okay. And that tackle that you talk about, Smith, I don't think he's going to be there. I don't think he's going to be there because he seemed like a lot of people's talking about him. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people's talking about him. But yeah, but that's all I got for today. God bless you in the show, and you keep up the good work and keep up the positive, man. We are very proud of you. The people from PA, you putting it down. Keep it up.
Hey, man, hold it down for PA. Salute, Mr. Ronnie. Enjoy your weekend.
You too.
Let's get 469 in here. What's good, 469?
Hey, Professor X here. What's up?
What's up, Professor X? So this is the other Austin. What's goody?
Yeah. So I know the last conversation we had kind of got cut short, but just your perspective. Like I was saying the last time, we've filled pretty much every need. Would you, maybe trade up to, top 5 or say, a player that you want is sliding a little bit and get the best player get the best player, not the best player available? Like maybe get a Jalen Carter, you trade your first, second, and third.
Hell no.
And you wouldn't do that?
No. Now Jalen Carter is sliding to the 20s, and yeah, you can come up, but I'm not trading the first, second, and third for Jalen. Look, I like Jalen Carter, but there ain't nobody in this draft I'm trading that much for.
What about a first and
I'm not trading a first for nobody.
So you wouldn't do any trade compensation to get the? Because I feel. Do you feel like we've fulfilled every need? Do we need all 7 rounds of draft picks?
Well, they didn't fulfill every need. They need an offensive guard, but I'm not trading up for an offensive guard either.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, but I would say Carter, Robinson, and Nolan Smith. I would trade up to go get. Because I feel like the Eagles are going to draft. John Robinson.
Look, trading up is not an issue if you're saying I only got to trade a 3rd or 4th round pick. But when you said, would I trade a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round pick to go get Jalen Carter? No. I'm not trading.
Yeah, that's too much. I was just kind of giving an example. Just, if you could go – because I feel my fear is that, the 26th pick, best available player, and for God's sakes, I hope we don't go Drew Sanders out of Arkansas. He's got Bobby Carpenter written all over him. And you know how Jerry Jones is with those Arkansas players.
Let me ask you why you think he has Bobby Carpenter written over him. Out of curiosity, why that guy? You think he's going to be the next Barbie? That's what they called him.
Well, I mean, coming from a white guy, there's not too many.
I'm glad you admitted it. That's exactly why you saying that, because he's a white linebacker. The Cowboys would draft in the 1st round. Why not LVE? But no, he got to have the hair. Does he got the hair? I don't think he got the hair with it. No, he ain't got the hair.
No, not the hair, but yeah, LVE's nice, and Sean Lee was, if he wouldn't have got hurt a lot,
bro,
he probably would be a Hall of Famer.
I feel weird calling you Professor X because we got a Professor O, but Austin, listen, Mr. Austin, 316. Somebody dropped a Sean Lee highlight tape yesterday, man. Almost brought tears to my eye on Twitter because I was just imagining what Sean Lee would look like with this defense you know, with
Oh,
Micah
my
Parsons.
God, yeah.
If Sean Lee was here, I would tell Micah to put like 7 to 10 pounds on, bro. I wouldn't give a damn about him playing linebacker. The reason why I'm still in that linebacker phase is because I don't trust our linebackers completely yet. They got to kind of gain my trust to be those guys. I think right now Mike is a better linebacker than any of our guys, but they won't put him there full time because he's a fantastic edge rusher. But with Sean Lee, oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I mean, there was some glimpses of Damon Clark, but he kind of faded at the end, and yeah, I don't really trust that.
Oh no! I like Damone. I'm not ready to say I trust him just yet because we got to see it with Damone. I knew about. I ain't got to see nothing with Sean. Sean's, if he doesn't get hurt, he's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But here's the thing: I feel like if you get that defensive tackle that we've so desperately needed since David Irving was on our team, that guy had potential to be a top 3 defensive tackle if he wouldn't have blown his career away with the marijuana. But I feel like if you get that need, I mean, now the teams can't double on Micah, and it just, you let the dogs out with the rusher, especially with Micah. I mean, and he won't get as nicked up as much as he was during the season. I mean, he was having to go through double teams, and you get that guy in the middle that's a dog and that can get to the quarterback and stop the run. I mean, you're going to, it's like pick your poison. You're going to throw the ball in that secondary, or you're going to let Micah, get to the quarterback. So I feel like that's a big need we should go if we're going to, maximize Micah Parsons and hopefully not get him banged up like he did this year. Because that kind of worried me, him getting banged up.
Yeah. I got the help for you here, Austin. I got the help for you. So stick around for our second pick. Appreciate you calling in, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You want some tackle help, Austin? So do I. With the second pick, John Machota of The Athletic selects number 58 overall for these Dallas Cowboys defensive tackle, Mazi Smith. Look, guys, I'm just a messenger, okay? I'm just a messenger. I'm not saying Nolan Smith is going to fall to 26. I'm not saying Mazi's going to fall to 58, but it's possible, right? Anything is possible. And if Nolan Smith and Mazi Smith fall to the Cowboys at those selections, I'm running to the podium. Let's read what Machota had to say about Mazi. As the second round was unfolding, 3 players who would have been great for the Cowboys were sliding: interior offensive lineman Steve Avila, Alabama running back Jahmyr Gibbs, and Mazi Smith. Avila and Gibbs went a few picks before Dallas was on the clock. The only other player in the conversation here was Iowa State defensive end Will McDonald. But after grabbing Smith in the first round, this was an easy choice, correct? Dallas brought back Hankins for another year, and Watkins might also return. Now, this was before Watkins returned. He's not here anymore. But the Cowboys, need a big impact player in the middle for several years to come, and a 6'3", 320-plus pound Smith would fit well. The Cowboys' defensive line would be in great shape for the foreseeable future if these were their first 2 picks. And that there, ladies and gentlemen, leads me into my Hattie B's hot take of the day. Come on now. Look at that chicken. Look at that chicken. My Hattie B's hot take brought to you by, obviously, Hattie B's. No conversation about the best Nashville hot chicken is complete without a serious mention of Hattie B's hot chicken. Founded in Midtown Nashville in 2012, Hattie B's is renowned nationally for its legit Nashville hot chicken. The fast casual eater has a new location right here, Deep Ellum, Dallas, Texas, that serves up hot chicken from varying levels of heat. You got southern, mild, medium, hot to damn hot, and the Daredevil's dream. Shut the cluck up. So what makes Hattie B's hot chicken the most beloved chicken in the area? It's brined, hand-breaded, and fried fresh every single day. So come on down today in Dallas, Texas, Deep Ellum, or hit them up online. You get a free rewards account. If you do that, you sign up with the link in the description, you'll get $10. $10 gift card for free. So hit them up at HattieBees.com or visit here in Deep Ellum today. Sky, what's your hot take, man? If the Cowboys were to draft Nolan Smith Mazi Smith, the Smith brothers, the Dallas Cowboys will have the deepest defensive line rotation in the NFL. Whoa, what do you mean? They're rookies. I know. But they already brought back what was already one of the deepest offensive or defensive line rotations in the NFL. So, you got Micah Parsons. You got to include him. DeMarcus Lawrence, Sam Williams, Dante Fowler. Then you add these two dudes, Jonathan Hankins, Mazi Smith, Nolan Smith, Chauncey Golston, Osa Digizua. That's the deepest rotation in the league, man. Yeah, they don't have Chris Jones in the middle. I get it. They don't got Aaron Donald. But from 1 to, what did I just list, like 8? From 1 to 8, be hard-pressed to find a better, more talented unit, including Micah Parsons, from 1 to 8. And that's with the help of a Mazi Smith at defensive tackle. Look, I know a lot of people were soured on Smith at 26. Fair. But grade me Mazi Smith at 58, Cowboys Nation. There's no way you could be upset with this one. You kidding me? What would you give this grade? Mazi Smith, pick 58, to come in here, be the run defender of the now and future. So we were talking about this yesterday. I wanted to continue to address the defensive tackle position, even though they brought back a Jonathan Hankins, because we saw without Jonathan Hankins how this thing looked. Mazi Smith come in here and play one specific role. Stop the run. Stop the run, and you'll be fine. The problem with guys like Bohanna, guys like Jonathan Ridgeway, those guys were good run stuffers in college, but Mazi's, in my opinion, is better. Those guys were okay athletes. Mazi is a better athlete. Those guys were good players in college. Mazi is a better player in college. And we often talk about when you take these 5th and 6th round and undrafted one-tech type dudes, yes, they're big, and yes, they might, just be a trash can full of dirt. But do you know how to defend the run? Mazi on film, to me, knows how to defend the run, and he's athletic as hell, strong as hell, and you're not asking him to be the savior of your defensive line right now. So this would be a fantastic pick to me. A+ all around the board right here. Your defense becomes a super defense, and look, I'm waiting to call them one of them ones, even with these picks, because I was fooled last year, but you're trending to be. With the talent that's there, plus Dan Quinn, trending to be one of them ones, man. Great to pick. Gotti gives it an A. Where we at here? Star Kit Duke gives it an A. Kelvin A+. DJ said after Nolan jail sentence. Come on, man. They gonna have to take, somebody tweeted to me they're gonna have to take Voch and Sky to jail if we do this. Yeah. Don't tell the Super Friends group that. Minus Law, the other three think Dallas as the weakest D-line in the East. As the weakest D-line in the East? What? Look, I am counting these guys, right? Adding them to okay, you're talking about that Super Friends thing that they had. Philly got a good D-line. They lost some guys though, They lost some guys. They would be up there. I'll give. Obviously, you got Payne and Allen and Sweat, but again, 1 through 9, I'll take the Cowboys all day tomorrow. But they do got Payne and Allen. I'll give them that. And then New York, nah, New York don't got a better. No, I still go with Dallas. Maybe that's why it's a hot take, because it's not a slam dunk. But we got a Micah Parsons. All right, I think D-Law, Micah Parsons, Sam Williams, Dante Fowler. Then you added Jonathan Hankins, who is one of the better run-stopping guys in the entire division. Mazi Smith, Nolan Smith. Dorrance would be like your 7th dude talent-wise. Come on, man. I'll take ours 1 through 8 or 9. I don't know how many guys I just named. That's why they call it a hot take, though. Sully dropped one in the chat.
Super chat.
Says, am I the only one almost drinking the Kool-Aid? I already poured the cup, just haven't drunk it yet. It's April. And I'm trying to take it day by day, but damn. Hey, look, we can take a sip. We're not about to guzzle the Kool-Aid right now. It's only March, like you said, Sully. But it's fair to be out here in these streets and feel good about your Dallas Cowboys. It's been a while since you can say that about your Dallas Cowboys in March. So, yeah, man, feel a little good about what's happening this week. Feel a little good. Ain't no way. Ain't no way Louis T said that, Swain. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, fam. Let's get Reek on the horn. That's crazy. What's good, Reek?
What's going on, Scott? What's going on, Cowboy Nation? I'm gonna say this. I think if Nolan falls, yeah, it's a big possibility they'll take him. But Mazi, nah, I don't see that happening. The reason I say that is because Mike McCarthy. Yeah, the reason I say that is because I think Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys. This is the first. You gotta understand something. This is the first time Mike McCarthy gets his chance to shine. And what is he? He's an offensive-minded coach. So he's gonna draft offense. So the first thing of operations, he said it out of his own mouth, is what? To protect Dak Prescott. And you got to get something on that line within the first 2 rounds, because if you don't, you're going to be wiped out of some of the good players on that offensive line. I don't believe.
So you're saying you're saying reach for need in the second round? If Mazi's the top guy on your board, which, I mean, let's be completely honest, defensive tackle still can be considered a need. You're saying, window dress your board and just take the best offensive lineman because you believe it's the need. If that's the case,
yeah,
you think they would reach?
I think they should get an offer between the first.
I know
rounds,
what you think they're doing, but we're talking about
this
this pick, right? So if Mazi Smith is on the board, Mazi Smith is defensive tackle number 2 to you, right? And he falls to 58. Or Brian Brees is there, so maybe defensive tackle number 3. You would bypass DT number 3 for offensive guard number 5 or 6, or you know what I mean? You would do that?
I would. The reason I would, Sky, because you still got defensive tackles that are free agents. If they was willing to go back and get a person like Watkins, whatever dude name is that was with us that went to Arizona, I still believe they're going to go get a veteran. Okay. And put another veteran D-tackle on his team instead of putting a rookie on his team.
You can say that about offensive line too, but when we're doing draft, I'm not just talking about just this year, right? Like Mazi allows you to not have to worry about Jonathan Hankins next year, and you can build with Mazi Smith on the interior as that enforcer to potentially be a Deron Payne type, Chris Jones type, or I mean one of them ones type. Like would you bypass having the chance to have an enforcer in the middle of your defense to have a okay guard? I wouldn't.
I understand that. I respect the game, but I just don't believe that these Cowboys are going to do that because they end up drafting defense. They don't believe in defensive tackle safeties into the later rounds. So that's when naturally that's when they go pick up a guy within the 4th or the 5th or the 6th round for our DT. Yeah. We both know that they don't go high on DTs. We would like them to do that.
I mean, they did it in the second round. They did it under a guy who actually didn't even value DTs that much with Rob Marinelli. They took a worse defensive tackle, in my opinion, in the second round. Now, he had a fantastic first step, but there were many red flags talking about and now his name just slipped my mind. I know, talking about UCF kid, Tristan Hill. Tristan Hill, who had some qualities, they took him in the second round, which was a reach. You're asking them to do the inverse, where reach for the guard because it's a need and pass over the better player who could fortify the middle of your defense for the next 4 years. I would hard pass on that. If they are truly about their draft board and Mazi Smith is by far and away the top guy on your board, it'd be hard pressed to pass on that just because you're saying we need a guard. And definitely for me, where I think you can find an average guard in round 3.
I got you. I get you on that, Sky. But this is the thing that keeps bothering me. I don't want to be average on the offensive line. I want to take the offensive line to another level.
I don't want to be average on the interior of the defensive line, though.
Yeah, but you can always go get a big. If you need a trash can full of dirt, it's still trash cans full of dirt on the free agency market.
I don't think
it's going to be ones later on in the draft.
I think Mazi has potential to be a dude, and I think whoever you get in the second round, I mean, John Jacobs, Jingleheimer Smith falls there, then we have a conversation. But whoever you get in the second round, I don't think is going to be a better player than Mazi Smith or more impactful player than Mazi Smith can be on the interior. where I can hide an average guard in the middle of 4 quality players on the offensive line. I can do that. We did it. His name is Connor McGovern. You know what I'm saying? I can hide an average guard for 3 years if I need to, or go out and sign an average guard if I need to, or a better guard if I need to. But getting a guy like a Mazi, what I believe he could be, that's either going to cost you a lot of money or cost you a lot of draft capital. And the sweet spot at 58, whoo, it's hard to pass up, man. That's really, really hard, man. I'm trying to talk y'all. I'm trying to talk you into it.
Now you can't talk me off the ledge. You know why you can't talk me off the ledge? Because the reason I feel like we can't get talked off the edge, as far as I can't get talked off the edge, as far as that, because I know we have to go against teams like even in our own division that has good defensive lines. As far as Washington, the Giants got a pretty good defensive line, and I don't know if Philadelphia is done building their defensive line, and we still got to go against people like San Francisco. My thing is like this. I want a dominant offensive line. We can go buy another DT. That's all I'm saying, Scott. I think
you have
it backwards. I respect what you're saying.
I think you can buy a better instead of the second round guard. I can go out in free agency, and I could have got that if I wanted to. I could have brought back Connor McGovern if I wanted to bring back an offensive guard. I don't think you're getting a dominant offensive guard in round 2. I think you got a dominant defensive tackle in Mazi Smith. And Mazi Smith, I think he's more of an impact player. An offensive guard is not as impactful as a defensive tackle. That's just facts.
So you telling me, like, even in the first round, you telling me if you got a chance to get –
you said you would take him in the second round.
I would. But that's just me. But what I'm saying is if you got a chance to get a dominant tackle in the first round –
you're changing the conversation, Smith, brother. You're changing the conversation.
I'm just asking.
And
but I did say the first 2 rounds.
No, I said this pick right here. I said we had a whole conversation about this
so
pick.
Okay, so we talking strictly about the second pick. I still wouldn't take him.
I know you wouldn't. You already said you would.
That's just me. All right, Scott, man. But I'm going to holler at y'all later, man.
Yeah, you don't want to window dress your board, Cowboys Nation. That's the last thing you want to do. Reaching for need, we've been here. Hello, Taco Charlton. Hello, Tristan Hill. Do not window dress your board. It is how you fail in the draft. 9 times out of 10, Mazi Smith is going to be a better player on the board than the guard that's there at 58, without a shadow of a doubt. And reaching for need is it could work out. Maybe it works out, but no way, no how am I passing on the better player at a position of need, by the way. I think because you signed John Hankins for 1 year, you don't ignore that that's still a position of need from a now and later type of situation. Now, because you only got Jonathan Hankins, you don't have another one of those dudes who I think has a ceiling to go, where Jonathan Hankins was at his peak. It's really damn good. So I just can't do it, man. Just can't do it. And then that's the other thing too. Like he said, not changing my mind. You got to go into this process eyes wide open. If you go into this process with tunnel vision, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to go take the 5th offensive guard, 6th offensive guard because of need, and you can get yourself in trouble, man. You can end up with Connor McGovern, And Connor McGovern, I'm not even calling him a bad player or anything like that, but I'd much rather have an impact defensive tackle over a okay offensive guard. And an okay offensive guard is not going to sink your offense. We've seen the offense go to where it was with an okay offensive guard. I think Tyler Smith is going to be even better at left tackle. Tyler Biadasz he's rock solid. Zach Martin is Zach. You get Terrence Steele back. You've got a quality line right now. I don't think you need to reach for left guard. If a left guard falls to you and that works out, awesome. If it doesn't, please don't reach. And that's what bugged me. That's why I wanted to get Shaq Mason, because I don't want them having to reach for anyone in this draft in particular. We've been there, done that. DJ, let me get your opinion on this before we get to our third pick, man.
Yeah, I was going to be patient, man, and hold out and wait and, get a little bit more of the mock draft is so I could react to everything. But basically what Reek was saying is that he would pass on Jeffrey Simmons to get Connor Williams. That makes no sense to me. That makes zero sense. Not saying Mazi will be Jeffrey Simmons. I'm not saying that. But in that scenario,
he'd have Jeffrey Simmons on the board, but he needs a left guard so he get Connor Williams. That makes zero sense. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, I was trying to that was how I was trying to position it, right? Like I'm trying to give him my view of Mazi and my view of the guards. I don't know what his view was of Mazi, but he kind of agreed, like, all right, yeah, okay, he might be an impact defensive tackle, but I don't care. I'd rather take an offensive guard, and I guess he's thinking that offensive guard is going to just turn your offensive line dominant because of that second-round guard. That may happen. That may absolutely happen. I just think the opposite of that. I think that the dominant defensive tackle or impact defensive tackle can make your defensive line dominant. And I think having a dominant defensive line will be awesome. Having a dominant offensive line would be great too, but I don't think that you're going to get that just because you drafted a dude in round 2 who I don't believe is better than Mazi. So that's kind of where we're at differently. If Mazi, to me, was a run-of-the-mill player, then I probably agree with him. I just don't see it that way.
Yeah, no, it was a weird conversation, and I was like, man, yeah, let me go ahead and call in. It's already 9:25 anyway. But what I was looking at, man, is if they were able to pull off getting Nolan felt like both of these. The only thing about this is that it's very, Madden-esque or fantasy-esque, right? Because both Nolan and Mazi fell to where the Cowboys could get it without doing any kind of movement whatsoever.
Right.
But if we're in this world already and we here, yeah, man, like Watt says, let's go to Golden Corral. Like, we going to jail, we're getting bailed out, we're going to Golden Corral, and honestly, at this point, I turn off the draft. I don't even know nothing else. There's nothing else they need to do for me.
Man,
we good to go.
Them 2 picks would be crazy. You can still get your guard in round 3. Like, come on, man. What if you get a Cody Mock in round 3? Like, what are we talking about here, man? Oh, my goodness. Mazi and Nolan, for what that does for your defense, man, if you happen to lose a Dan Quinn, the talent alone, whoever the hell this defensive coordinator is that comes in, the talent alone will help them stay afloat. It would be ridiculous. That front seven is ridiculous with that group. Sam Williams, Mazi Smith, Micah Parsons, Osa, Golston. That's like your core young guys. And then you just continue to add veterans in between. Oh, my.
No, like you like your words exactly. It'd be one of them ones, man. It would be one of them ones. It couldn't help but be one of them ones, especially with Dan Quinn initiating and his ability to grow players and the way that he's done things over the past couple of years since he's been here. You get that kind of core at that high of a level, even if he leaves. I mean, even the Legion of Boom was still the Legion of Boom after Dan Quinn left. They weren't as dominant, but they were still those guys. So the residual effects would carry you for almost half a decade. So,
yeah. And Reek said in the chat, if he's that good, he won't be there. Well, Reek, that's we don't believe he will. But
exactly.
this mock draft has just happened to fall that way. That's why I was presenting it the way I presented it. Like, if he's there, he's probably, without a shadow of a doubt, your top player on the board in a position that you could use him. So it's kind of hard. Don't window dress your board. I would hate for them to do that.
No, yeah. Both of these scenarios, Nolan Smith at 26 is by far, by a mile, the best player on the board. Mazi Smith at 58 is by a mile the best player on the board. It's an easy decision.
Yeah. I mean, the only other one, because he had McDonald on the board at 58, but you already took Nolan. That's what John said. John was like, I already took Nolan Smith, so I can't double dip at that position, especially since you got Slam Williams. But Mazi's right there.
I'm selfish. You could take both. It's fine. You ain't hurt my feelings.
So what it take? You greedy. I can dig it.
All right, man. I'll let you get back to it.
Salute. Appreciate you.
Have a good week.
You too, man. Let's get to pick number 3. This really going to piss Reek off. Ooh-wee. Because, see, for me, I would go offensive line right here. I don't know who was on the board. But this is what John Machota elected to go with. Now, what pissed me off at the running back? I don't mind Zach in the round 3 at that. But it's not the guard position. I don't know who was there. Let's take a read. With the 3rd pick, number 90 overall, John Machota selects in this mock draft Zach Charbonnet. He says other notable players on the board at 90 were Texas A&M running back Devon Achane, South Dakota State tight end Tucker Craft, Iowa tight end Sam Laporta. I'm looking for offensive line. I don't see it. All right, so he didn't name who was on the board offensive line-wise. It says he also fits the need for the Cowboys. While talking to reporters at the league meetings this week, Cowboys executive vice president said, in a perfect world, you find a big physical back that could complement Tony Pollard. Charbonnet would probably be a better complement to Pollard than A-Chain. So that's interesting. I didn't realize Stephen Jones said that. This was prior to Ronald Jones being here. But again, like we said, Ronald Jones is not affecting you from taking a running back anywhere in this draft. So they take Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA. Funny thing, we talked with, who was it, Foots. And he said something that was interesting that I also noticed. He was like, for a guy his size, he doesn't finish with that size. So, the 6 foot, 214 pounds is the size, but you wonder if he would be used in that manner. Put it this way, Ronald Jones runs way harder than Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet's got some wiggle at the second level. He's got some finesse to his game at the second level. He definitely doesn't play like 6 foot 214 out there, but he is from a size component opposite of what you have on the team. So Zach Charbonnet, pick 3, grade the pick. Grade the pick. I don't know who else was on the board. He just named a bunch of tight ends and running backs. I'm looking for who else was on the board at O-line. And he just named A-Chain really as the only other running back. There's so many backs in this draft. I think John Machota did a disservice not naming the other ones. I would have loved to know who else was on the board at this pick right here, man. Love to know. F, the Prince. B, Chris, B, Big Sarge, F, Star Kit, C. Round 3 is a good pick. Round 3 is not bad for Zach Charbonnet in general. But I'm guessing a lot of people are not happy with this pick because probably A, the depth at the position, and B, it'd be nice to get an offensive lineman here, right? Pitt kid, Israel, Wakanda. Was fun to watch too. Yeah. And Israel is he's got sneaky size because he looks like a jitterbug with some explosiveness, but he ain't. That's not. He's like, what is he, like 6 foot 214 as well? He's about the same size, built differently though. Runs hard. I like Izzy around this pick as well. B, A, B minus J, B plus from Hayes. Y'all know I like Chase. Yeah, I probably agree with a lot of you guys on the lower C to B minus type of situation. I don't mind. Look, Zach's cool, but I'm pretty sure there were some other running backs I like on that board. That's all I'm saying. All right, with pick number 4, John Machota selects tight end Luke Schoonmaker out of Michigan. Now, we made jokes last year about Cowboys got a type at tight end. This is a Cowboys type of pick right here. Cowboys type of pick. By the way, they also took a Michigan tight end before. Let's sign one. Sean McEwen. They took another Big Ten tight end, Jake Ferguson. They took another Big Ten tight end. Doesn't quite fit the mold, but he's Big Ten. And Peyton Hendershot. So he's taking Luke Schoonmaker. Tight end is a position that's talked about heavily, and Stephen Jones even brought it up, which when we get closer, I'm going to start talking about, tight end again. But Cowboys will probably come out of this draft getting a tight end. Luke is very interesting because his RAS score was like 9 point something. It was very high. It was up there with the Kuntz had 10 and other guys had 9 something. Ran a 4.6 40, showed some quickness. But much like a lot of these Big Ten tight ends, not named Jake Ferguson, you won't see a high-end production from a receiving standpoint because that's just not what they do in the Big Ten. Now, things are shifting a little bit, and depending if you go like Iowa State or something. But even then, Rucker really didn't have a crazy resume from a record-breaking type of tight end performance, as if you would have played in like the Pac-12 or something like that. But he's kind of the opposite of Kuntz to me, or Knutz if you follow Watching Bar Live. You see Kuntz runs a 4.5 and scores a 10 on RAS. And then I go watch the tape, and I'm like, where the hell is that? I didn't see that. Now, where you saw his athleticism shine was in the red zone, was making the catches, reaching up. He's 6'7" or something crazy, and playing big. With Luke, I saw the 4.6 on film after he got the rock. I was like, oh okay. He got some wheels to him after the catch. I don't know that he's as agile as Ferguson showed in his rookie year, but he's much faster on film than I saw Kuntz on film. But, again, also the inverse. Kuntz was more athletic on film from a pass-catching standpoint, from a red zone target standpoint than Luke was. Luke wasn't asked to go up and get it guy. He was kind of play action, throw it to him, run in, score touchdown type dude. So, interesting when you look at two guys that score really high in the RAS coming out the combine. One ran 4.5 something, one ran 4.6, which is really fast for tight ends. One didn't look it on film, one did. And one was more athletic from the catch point than the other. So I don't mind this one here. I don't know who else is on the board. Let's see what he says. When Laporta fell, I do like Laporta, fell into the 4th round. We attempted to trade up, but he couldn't find a partner. Okay. Getting Schumacher at number 129 seemed like great value. Brugler projects him as a 3rd-round pick, 6'5", 250, and would make it an all Big Ten tight end room. That's another thing. He will fight as well from a blocking standpoint. Probably got to get bigger, stronger, off-season peanut butter. But from a blocking standpoint, he comes in and can help you in that department. While the Cowboys could address the tight end position in the 1st or 2nd round, it's something the Packers ever did during McCarthy's 13 seasons in Green Bay. Dallas Smith, the 2nd-round pick on tight end in 2013 with Gavin Escobar, rest in peace. The last time the Cowboys used the 1st-round pick on the tight end was David Lefreux. I remember that. In 97, considering they have recently found excellent value in positions in the 4th with Ferguson and Dalton Schultz, it's more likely they'll address tight end closer to the middle of the draft. Indeed. That's kind of where I'm at with it with tight end. I don't really see the need to take a tight end in round 1. If they were to take a tight end early, I think early would be like 3rd, 4th round. And 4th round might even be pushing it a little bit. Our 3rd round might even be pushing it a little bit, but 4th round 3rd, 4th round seems to be the sweet spot. I think 4th round you can find a quality tight end for the Cowboys. Where we got with this one? What are you guys grading? Luke, if you drive me, get a nice little Luke chant going. Luke Schumacher, A- says Ban, so that's not. Lee says B. Jameson B. I think we're still talking about Luke here. Round 4 tight end will be behind Ferg and Hendershot. I don't like it. It's about. Your round 4 pick is going to be a backup. Yeah. Dalton Schultz, round 4 tight end, backup. Jake Ferguson, round 4 tight end, backup. Round 4 picks is 9 times out of 10 going to be a backup. Going to be a backup. We see here. 5th round, QB says Beast. Gotti Baby says B-. Chris, B-. Toxic, B-. Brian, B. Fresh, C. Yeah. I like tight end at this spot. I actually like Luke, in general, so I like this pick here. I'll give it a B. And then the final pick, and we'll get into the phone lines and finish them here. Finally, the Cowboys go into the 5th round, pick 176, and they select offensive guard Anthony Bradford out of LSU. He goes like 6'4", 330, so they get some of that, the big, strong type. Let me tell you something about when I went and watched him. Because look, when I had to do this mock draft, I wanted to make sure I came prepared with these guys that he picked. So I did quick recon on Anthony Bradford. And I picked the wrong game. I picked the wrong game. I picked the wrong game to watch. Can you just guess? Can you guess who I watched? Can you guess? I'm not even trying to sell you on Bradford. Like, the pick makes sense. I'll tell you that too, bro. The pick makes sense. They need a guard, right? He's the mauling type. He's like a 6'4", 330 physical guard. But I just picked the wrong game to watch. So I want to be honest with y'all before I go out here and I don't want to make it sound like I'm shitting on him, because there were some things I'll talk about that was solid. Yeah, Brandon and Sam. I watched the Georgia game. Oh boy, that was the wrong idea. But I thought, okay, Georgia, SEC, big game. Not a great game to watch. And not even just for the fact that he was going up against that man Jalen Carter because he had problems with Jalen Carter. I mean, Jalen Carter going to do that to you, right? Like, Jalen Carter made him look silly so many times. The reason why it really was the worst game to try is because Georgia got so far up on these dudes that most of the reps you're watching is Anthony Bradford pass blocking. I don't want to see 6'4", 332 pounds pass block all day. I don't. So I'm like, all right, let me find these run blocking clips. And here's what I came away with from Note Watch from Anthony Bradford. And this is overall, run or pass. I said he leans, and I think he'll get the chair pulled on him. So I didn't like how, he can be a little leany with his technique. But he is strong. I said I watched that Georgia game, and 88 overmatched him. Obviously, that's what's going to happen. I thought he did some solid work as a combo blocker. This is where you could tell he's like, thank God we ain't throwing a damn ball, because he get mean with his combo blocking. So the Cowboys like to do some duo stuff. So, if you get Anthony Bradford in some duo situations, he can use that mentality and that build and that strength to help move guys around. So that's where he would be a plus for the Cowboys. I said he missed with his hands often against Georgia. Again, they got dogs over there. Carter was just absolutely – there was the back-to-back play on the same series at the goal line. Jalen Carter just acted like he wasn't even there. Just boom, boom, swim move. Very next play. And he was swim moving this dude all game. Boom, boom, swim move. And you saw Bradford on the ground both of those plays. And it's like, who's in his ear telling him, like, yo, he just hit you with this like 5 times in his game. You should expect it to come. And I said Georgia ran so many stunts. It was a good test for him. I gave him a C- in that game on dealing with everything. So, again, I'm being honest with y'all. Not a great game to watch. If you guys are familiar, maybe Vosh can tell me with what game I can watch where I can look at him more in the run game department and against a guy not named Jalen Carter, what he could look like. But about a C-, C+ in that game. But in the 5th round, you're probably going to be getting these types anyway, hopefully with some upside. Where is the upside? The upside is he's strong. The upside is he does have the demeanor to be good in the run game in those duo combo situations. He does look to work to the second level. I saw that. This is why I hate that they didn't run the ball a lot. I didn't see him get sticky with guys. I felt like when he got his hands on you, it didn't stick, right? If you were active with your hands, you pretty much could beat Bradford, and I didn't like that, especially in the pass game department. So I don't use the word project, but a guy in the 5th round, likely going to be a backup that you try to work into a starter after a year or two if he can develop, get with Duke, get with these offensive line coaches. So Anthony Bradford, for me, you're in the 5th round at this point. You can grade it if you want, but I'm not really expecting much from 5th on down is a bonus if these guys can hit. And as I said before, though, with the Cowboys, they needed like 1 through 5 to hit because of the way they operate in the offseason. Hopefully things are turning a little bit. Let's see here. Gregory gave it a C. Anybody got a game that I would like that they've seen Anthony Bradford play in that I should check out? Brian gave it a C. John said coach him up. Yeah, he would need to be coached up for sure. For sure. Swain gave him a C. I agree, Ghost. Ghost said these are usually project picks after the 4th. Yeah, you're hoping. Two Broke said I give the pick a C plus or B minus guy. Sounds like he needs some development and coaching up. Yes. And again, none of these dudes are finished products. Just the game I watched wasn't a great game to watch. Like, you don't ever want to see this guy drop. How many times did they throw the ball in that game for my college folk? Felt like they threw it 40 times in that game. Toxic said the 5th round will forever be the Amari Cooper round. All right, so that is John Machota's mock draft, Cowboys Nation. 1st round, you get Nolan. 2nd round, you get Mazi. 3rd round, you get Charbonnet. 4th round, Luke Schumacher, and tight end. And 5th round, guard Anthony Bradford. How would you feel about this draft? Where would you grade this draft? I would give this draft a B. I would give this draft a B. First 2 picks, A+. But once you get to 3, 4, 5, that'll bring it down to about a B. You do need a running back, so you can say, well, so okay, cool. You could be happy with that. Tight end, 4th round seems like a very solid round to grab a tight end, so I'm not mad at that. Bradford, I would have liked to see the running back and the guard switch. I would have liked to see who was available in round 3 at guard and then take the running back in round 5. That's kind of what I would have did. But I get it. I get this a B. I give it a B because come on, man, you get Mazi and you get Nolan. Let's roll. All right, Nacho, what you got for us this morning, sir? Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, listen, I like it. We load up on defense. Nolan Smith and Mazi are, regardless whether we are needing, offensive line or anything like that. Let's strengthen and let's continue to strengthen our defense and have that type of high-end caliber defense to go along with our offense. I like the 2 picks. Charbonnet is interesting. Spears or Bigsby would also be in conversation at this point. Charbonnet runs tall. He's I've heard kind of more of a DeMarco Murray type. So hey, listen, Charbonnet is a productive.
Yo, that is an interesting comp. Huh?
Yes. He runs tall, kind of like DeMarco, but yet he finds the seams. He breaks tackles. Charbonnet is not a bad pick here on the third round.
I'm not gonna be able to get over this comp. The comp is here's why I like the comp. I like the comp at the second level. I feel like at the second level, they're both bigger guys. You wouldn't expect to have some wiggle. But boy, DeMarco Murray was a beast with that one cut. I don't know what Charbonnet looks like in a one cut scheme.
Absolute, and you know what, this guy he does have similarities. If you get a chance, he does. So I like it. Fourth, the tight end. I at that stage, if Laporta was available, I would like him. There's another kid from, I think it's Kraft, from a small school, South Dakota. Could be another one there as well. And then of course, Bradford. Now we're just kind of grabbing the guard to grab the guard.
Which I'm not mad at because you got to throw some young guys in that building that you can try to develop. I just would have done it a little bit earlier.
Absolutely. So I give it a good B+. I like it. I see, this is my analysis on those picks. I see Nolan Smith, Mazi, and Charbonnet contributing and or eventually being starters there.
I agree. And then that's why, honestly, if you're being completely honest, you could even go higher on the grade if you want, based off of just what you said. Nolan, Mazi, and Charbonnet are going to be, I think, high-volume snap guys either year one or definitely year 2. Like, these guys are going to be a part of a rotation and have a major impact. And if you can get that out your first 3 picks, that's a home freaking run, honestly.
I think it's a home run, and even an A-. Yeah, I think if Machota's onto something, obviously these are just all guesses at this point. But, yeah, those 3, I'm good. I'm good with those 3, and look at what we've done. And I'll leave you with this: look at what we've done with our fifth rounders and what we got for Cooks and Kelly. I'm good. We're good.
Yeah. Hey man, appreciate the call, Nacho.
We're on, my man. You have a good one.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
If I had to obviously speak on the positives and negatives, the pros and cons of the draft, the obvious con would be that we didn't take an offensive lineman in the top 100 at any point. We rolled with the tight end and the running back prior. I would flip that. Excuse me. I would go guard after the first 2, and I wouldn't reach. Obviously, if Luke was the best player, he's the best player in the position that they kind of are looking for. Although I'm comfortable at tight end enough to still not take a tight end if a guard is better, if that makes sense. I don't know who was on the board, but I would have loved for them to take a guard in the top 100. I don't know who was on the board in this situation. That would be my kind of con about this draft, is that they didn't take a guard until the 5th round. Other than that, man, I mean, this is the first 3 picks, I think, are solid picks, man. Really solid. First 2 picks are fantastic. Charbonnet's a solid pick for sure. Luke is also another solid pick. But Dallas Cowboy fans, if you came out of the draft with this, listen, nobody's ever happy. So I know we'll get a lot of people that will hate the draft, throw tomatoes, yada, 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 but I think they would have done well. Now let's get to Marv, who's about to give me about 70 names that the Cowboys should have took, could have took, would have took.
Yep.
Yeah, you
What's
know
good,
that. You know me.
Marv about to give me a whole different mock. What up, Marv?
What's up, family? Yeah, I like the first pick.
Okay.
Now, whoever had the second pick, that's the key. Was
Okay.
that guard there, Avila?
No.
Or was
Avila was taken.
Or was it
in this mock
was
draft. I'll read out what he said.
What,
He said Avila, Jahmyr Gibbs, all went. They went before the Cowboys.
okay. And one pick, that first pick, a whole run. Now, the second pick, he could probably start, but I would start him at the 3-tech. That big old guy from Michigan. That's my new 3-tech with Hankins. I'm not starting him.
He got the athletic ability for sure. And you know what, Marv? I would not mind a package of Hankins and Mazi on the field together. And when you talk about starting, and here's why in the new age of the NFL, man, even the word start is weird because 9 times out of 10, if you're a running back, if you're a defensive end, a defensive tackle, a linebacker, unless you're one of them ones, you're rotating. Like you're not playing 98% of the snaps anymore. So yeah, Mazi could technically start, but only play 23 snaps, right? Because you get into a game, we got to pass. Teams don't want to run all the time. So I ain't mad at it, Marv. I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, that's who he'll be started, the 3-tech. And then, but now that third pick, if that Pittsburgh have back there, I'm taking him before I take the UCLA.
I think I would take Izzy Abba Wakanda. And I'm probably saying that wrong, but I'm joking. But now I would probably take Israel. I like him. I'm a little biased. I like that kid better than I like Charbonnet, and I don't dislike Charbonnet. I'm not over the moon for the kid.
Yeah, me either. Him, because if him or Bigsby there, them the two I'm taking first. Him, Bigsby, or Spears, them the three I'm taking before I take the UCLA back. Now, if they go and they like the UCLA back, I will be mad. You know what I'm saying? Because all of them going to play.
Sesame.
You know.
Your boy Chris is getting you in the chat, man.
What'd he
say? He said we gonna take the kid from Baylor, Sesame Ika.
Oh, and number 2?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Sesame Ika?
Siaka, yeah.
Siaka. Oh, look, he done corrected you, Chris. That's what I'm talking about, Marv. Yeah, Siaka Ika. Get him, Marv.
Siaka, yeah. I got him. He trying to get over here.
Try to get you.
If he's now, who got the longest arms? See, I could penetrate better than your boy from Michigan.
If I understand correctly, I don't know what the system that Baylor played, but it felt like to me, Mazi was doing a lot of two-gapping type stuff where he got to hold his gap and then he has to choose a gap to go to. Where Siaka just go there and get it, man. Big boy, clog it up. I don't know who has the longer arms though. Somebody got that in the chat? Who got the longer arms?
Like, they like the long arms.
Yeah,
but either one, I would be happy.
Yeah,
him,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Siaka, him, or the Wisconsin guy, either three, I'll be happy. As long as we get one of them three, I'm like cheering like a bug. You know what I'm saying? Now that LSU, that big guy from LSU, I'm about to watch the tape right now since you said, oh, they gave me a new pick to watch. But I heard your boy, what's the guy that be on the break, that be doing the draft?
Kyle, you know, or doing the draft. Oh, Broadus?
Broadus.
Yeah.
Broadus was talking about him. So I'm about to watch tape when I get off this phone. But he a big boy. He probably just take him to Duke. But come on, Duke.
I thought I read something on that LSU kid that I think it was my guy John. I trust John. Owning, by the way, where it felt like he was is this kid a pass rushy type of DT? Is this the same kid we talking about?
Oh, they talking about there's a deep tackle they talking about too.
I thought that's who you were talking about, the defensive tackle.
No, I'm talking about the guard they picked up.
Bradford. Okay, my bad. Bradford.
Yeah.
In the mock draft. Okay.
Yeah. So, just take him to the factory, get his technique down, because he's too big to get overpowered. You know what I'm saying? And you got him next to Smith. And I'll tell you something. Carter played there, and they trained him, and he ended up starting. And that kid next to our tackle, they gonna kill that kid.
Yeah,
Carter
you're gonna have to send old Bradford to Duke, man. He ought to get his hands together, because he, as strong as he is, that shit don't matter if he ain't got his hands right in that pass set. I saw too many times in that game, man, for a big dude so strong, he couldn't even get a chance to anchor because he couldn't get his hands right, man. It was just pushing him back, and he was like standing up very high for a guy that's 6'4". You can't get like that, especially against a Carter, man. Your base gotta be way better than that. And it just wasn't a great game to watch, but I want to find another game. So if somebody got one, let me know. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's a lot of games right now. They got him going against LSU against Mississippi State. They got him going against Florida. Florida got a big D tackle too, so I want to see how he do against that D tackle.
Talking about that dude that's like 400-something pounds.
Is he 400 pounds there?
Bro, he went viral last year for a couple plays he made where this man, look, sir, he's like 450 pounds. I'm probably exaggerating, but he's too big. Put it that way.
No, that one dude with the Cowboys.
No, he's
too big.
He's way too big.
They ain't gonna draft. They're not gonna draft.
I don't know his name, but I know some people here, college football folk here know what I'm talking about. I think he was a Florida kid.
Oh, the Florida kid?
Yeah.
The Florida kid D tackle. No, they talking about the other one, the one that's 6'6", they rate 310. He get penetration. That kid is good.
Okay, that's a different.
I know he got long arms, so I know Dan Quinn like him. I see this tape. He's a beast. He can't move him.
Yeah.
The Cowboys like that. He's 6'6", 310, long arms. He penetrates a lot too.
Yeah. Well, all right, Mar, appreciate you calling in with your insight, brother.
Yes, sir, fam.
Yes,
Good
sir.
show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's Magic City Marv, y'all, calling all the way from the West Coast. Shout out to our West Coast viewers, because I get up at about, me personally, over here, about 5-something. Air at 8-something, which is 6-something over there, and y'all be up here watching, man, and I appreciate that. And it really didn't hit me until I got to camp. And I'm out here doing these shows at camp at 6-something in the morning, and it's dark outside. So appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. All right, I locked them up, but somebody snuck up in here. So look, if you're going to follow Marv, there's got to be a good one, 945. What's good, 945?
Hey, how's it going? This is Vincent from Dallas. I got a question. If you have Mazi Smith there and Steve Avila, those are your only two choices. Everybody's off the board. For me, I'd rather go defensive tackle. He's a two-gapper. He controls, and our linebackers will be free. I mean, which more is more detrimental to our team? Would you choose the defensive tackle or Steve Avila, the offensive guard?
I'm a Mazi Smith guy. I think I have him rated higher than Steve Avila. But although I do have Avila as a second-round guy. So, if Avila's on the board, it's a conversation you could truly have. Like, I'm not upset with that conversation, and here's why. I think Avila is a fantastic pass blocker, right? And to who called in earlier and was talking about that? Who was that, y'all, that called in earlier and was talking about? Reek. To Reek's point about the staff choosing offensive linemen, if you listen to McCarthy, he's been talking about and harping on pass blocking, right? And I think Avila is a fantastic pass blocker that has the ability to be a really good run blocker as well. Just played for a team that runs out of shotgun all the damn time or throws the ball. So, that's a conversation that I think is a fair conversation to have. I have Mazi rated higher. However, you're talking about now two positions where they're both needs. I don't think the players ranking-wise are going to be too far. When you factor in BPA of position of need, I think Mazi is a guy that I have no problem with taking in the top 32 picks. I think Avila is outside of that. But if they were to take an Avila, I would understand that pick. But Mazi. I take Mazi. I think the dominant defensive tackle can take this defense to another level. We saw what a dominant defensive tackle could do for you just against the run, right? With Hankins.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if you get a guy that's more athletic and can be just as good in the run game, and you look at it towards the future. So not an easy pick, man. Great question, but I still will go with Mazi.
Do you make a ballsy move in a second to take Hooker?
Do I make a what now?
See the Cowboys do something like that? A ballsy move and take Hooker, the quarterback for Tennessee, in the second? Final question.
If you are out on Dak Prescott, right? If they have no plans on extending Dak Prescott, or he's not part of the future, or they want to protect themselves, that would be the pick. That's what you would do. Do I think the Cowboys would do it? They haven't done that since Quincy Carter. I think they're not out on Dak. I'm not out on Dak. I wouldn't do it. But if you were to take that pick, I'm protecting myself. We're not extending Dak. We're going to give this year. We'll take the 50-something million cap hit next year, and then we'll go from there. So I would do it, though.
All right, man. Great listening to you. Thank you, man. Appreciate all your info. Thank you.
Appreciate you as well. Have a good weekend. Great question. Good call. What would y'all do? Steve Avila, Mazi Smith is on the board. I know that those guys are split between the Cowboys fans and Cowboys Nation. I know where you going, Reek, and I'm not mad at you if that was the selection. I just think Mazi's a better player. Let me see here. Danny, you've been saying this a lot, man. Danny he says Avila is Will Hernandez 2.0. He feels a bit more refined than Will, and not. I think they're the inverse, right? Will Hernandez was mean, nasty run blocker, and then obviously he want to be a fight guy. Not fun in the pass game. Where Avila, man, I think he looks amazing in pass pro, and I'm looking for more from run blocking, and maybe somebody can give me more film, but I think they're a bit of the inverse. But I think you mean overall, Will Hernandez kind of was a bust. Solid Duck says, I don't think you can go wrong there. Kind of where I'm at, right? Like, whoever they took, I don't think you can go wrong because you're not taking either in the first. That's where I think the impasse has been, for Cowboys Nation. Avila at 26 or Mazi at 26, Cowboy fans don't like it. 58, we ain't tripping about 58. I agree with you there, Toxic, man. He said, all I ask is that we take high character guys, high character players who want to get better, 100%. King says Mazi, Marvin, Mazi. What's good, L? Or that's another L. Let me not do that. That's Mendoza. That's what I call that L, Mendoza. Toxic says Mazi easily. Law says we got Cooper Rush. We don't need Hendon. That's fair too. All right, y'all. Fantastic show today. Appreciate you guys for coming through. Let me get to a couple of these super chats. If I missed any, if my computer want to work, here we go. Before we get up out of here. Excuse me. Let's go look at these super chats. While I'm doing that, man, do me a favor. Hit this like button if y'all enjoyed today's show here live at Hattie B's Hot Chicken. No construction today. Apparently yesterday was National Hot Chicken Day. Might as well come celebrate down here at Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Again, in the description, though, you can click the link, sign up for free, and get a $10 gift card. Best way to really support. Here we go. Super chats.
Super chat.
Thoughts, and this comes from Michael. Man, this is small. Let me zoom this in real quick. I'm for real blind. Thoughts on Michael Schmitz in the 2nd/3rd. Oh, he fell to the 3rd. Then Voorhees in the 5th to protect yourself in case Biotish leaves. And I would love that. I'm all aboard getting John Jacob Jingleheimer, Michael Schmitz. Anywhere between round 1 and 2 and 3. And then taking Voorhees on day 3. I'm all for that. Sully, I think I got Sully's earlier. Yeah, I got yours earlier, Sully. And then Towboat Tie.
Super chat.
Drop one that said WrestleMania weekend, Sky. KO and Sammy for the dub. Yes, indeed. Look, I don't got my microphone here today, and that's the reason why I brought the microphone back out. It's WrestleMania week, right? And I'm gonna be watching that nights 1 and 2. I said this on Twitter. Shout out to Dave Sturcio. They could have made this card a one-night card. They didn't have to make it a two-night card. I'm a fan of one night, the excitement of it all happening in one night. You can't miss anything. It was real, man. Like I remember watching these pay-per-views through the squiggly channels because we couldn't get pay-per-views. You know? Begging my mom to pay for the damn thing, but back then the pay-per-views was like $99, so that wasn't happening unless you go to a friend's house or you go out and cut some grass or go do something to get the pay-per-views. But now, sign up for $7.99 on one of these streaming services and you're good. It kind of takes away the suspense for two nights. So I wish they go back to one. Would never happen because they make too much money. But it'll be fun, man. Sami Zayn, KO, the Usos, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes might be the most anticipated face in years, man. Sammy was hot as hell as a face, but Cody as he's probably and this might be a stretch for wrestling heads. I'm not calling him John Cena, but there was a point in time when John Cena was such a crazy babyface. Like Cody Rhodes is such a crazy babyface right now to go against Roman Reigns. I feel like when he signed on AEW or when he signed on with WWE and came to WrestleMania, you knew right away. They got to put Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. They need that type of face against Roman, and we're going to get it this weekend. And I'm looking for the American Nightmare to walk away with the title, man. Hey, Toxic, come on, man. Toxic. All right, I'm going to just say this, Toxic, because you 717. Channel 95? Was it Channel 95 for you? Marv said, damn, Sky, you ain't had a chip box. Yeah, we did have the box, bro. But the box didn't always work, Marv. I don't know how that worked. I was a kid. We was taking the cable, but it didn't work all the time. Channel 95. Oh, Toxic, it was Channel 95. Looking through the squiggly line. No, what you had to do was you had to go to Nickelodeon and then you just press previous channel and you're fine. You're good to go. Anyway, man, fun show today. Make sure y'all rock with me on Twitter at Skywalker Still. No VOD show today is Friday. No show for primetime show is Friday. This weekend, y'all enjoy y'all weekend, man. Be safe. Have a good one. If you are watching WrestleMania this week, hit me up on Twitter, man. We'll follow along. I'm bugging that at Toxic, man. Y'all funny. Follow along on Twitter. I'll be talking mostly unless any news drop, I'll be talking mostly WWE. I take a break from Cowboys Twitter on the weekends because if you don't take a break from Twitter, man, you go crazy. You go crazy. All right. Fantastic stuff, man. Fantastic stuff. With that said, y'all, hit this button, get up out of here. It don't feel like Friday, right? But it is. But it is. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend, man. Even though I do want to see Cody, or I do want to see Sammy and them win one, I got to throw the ones up for the Usos, man. I do fool with the acknowledge me, Moonlight. I do fool with the acknowledge me. All right, man, we out of here. Love y'all. Peace. Hey, shout out to the Dreamville Fest.
Bomb Squad!